Okay, this is interesting. I wanted to have a wee chat about this because it just goes to show you what like confidence and hard work and a combination of like everything coming together over a period of time in golf can obviously help you. Rory McIlroy, Quail Hollow, obviously won Wells Fargo Championship. Um, he's had a 18-month winless streak, and it just goes to show you that Rory McIlroy does things for a reason, and he's replaced his clubs. He was playing TaylorMade P7MB irons. I had a split set of these consistent with the P750 and the P730. So it's a bit like putting a combo set in your bag. Now, obviously, what Rory did, or decided to do, was go back to a prototype blade that he was made specifically in 2017 when he signed his deal with TaylorMade. So that's what he's done. He's gone right the way back. Now, these were a forged prototype blade, you might remember. They actually were in his bag. They were milled from like a solid bit, and they were Carlsberg, California blades, very suited to Rory's eye. Basically, when he signed the deal with TaylorMade, obviously he'd been with Nike for a long time, so the theory was with those blades that he's gone back to is they were set very much like his blades were with Nike. He's also returned to his multi-compound New Deca Golf Pride grips, which again is interesting. He's also returned to the Project X shafts, which he used throughout his career. He's actually added a 48-degree milled wedge, and he's put in a 15-degree 3-wood. Now, what's interesting about this is that so many bag changes. That's a huge change. You've not only changed your irons, you've gone back to a 48-degree wedge, which for a lot of players is old school wedges, lofts. You've done all that, and he then, as well as that, tweaked his driver so that he was committing to hitting it left to right. So he's changed a lot of things. Obviously, he's put a 3-wood back in the bag so he can still have the draw. He's got a new caddy on the bag in the shape of diamond, and he's been a diamond, obviously. And again, Rory's played about with his putter. So he's done all this, and he's basically said himself he flew under the radar. No one was expecting it. He came out the gates and he managed to win. So it shows you that if you're working on your game, confidence and technique and your mindset all have to be one for you to be positive enough so that you can make the moves. And it's more about positivity than it is about actual like pressure or anything like that. The other thing that happened during the tournament, and Rory got caught up in it as well, was there was a plugged ball or embedded ball ruling, and obviously Patrick Reed did his best as usual. He did everything by the book. As he was walking up to the ball, he asked the marshal, "Did you see that bounce, or did it just go straight in?" I didn't see it bounce, was the marshal's response. So he then marked it, lifted the ball, but palmed the ball, didn't have it in plain view, then put it down at the caddie's feet and said, don't touch that till we get a ruling. He poked about in the hole that the ball was either in or not in. Nobody was really too clear. Bearing in mind that as a viewer on the television, you have seen the ball bounce. So he was accused of this, that and the next thing, but really he followed it to the rule. And obviously, Rory McIlroy had a similar 5-iron shot that plugged or may have been embedded. Again, the players don't see where the ball finishes, so they don't know if it's bounced or if it hasn't bounced. And obviously, Rory did exactly the same thing, asked the marshals, did this bounce? Did you see it bounce? Nobody saw it bounce. So I think that ruling for embedded ball maybe has caused a lot of issues this week. Obviously, Rory got caught up because he got asked that question by some smart reporter who then tried to spin it and say, well, what did you think about Reed? Obviously trying to get a bait answer there. Rory did well and sort of skipped over that and said, look, I did it the same way he did it, and we both did it in the rules. So I think that this type of thing in golf is harmful because it's not like VAR in football. I think if they brought that in for the embedded ball, it might slow play up, but you would have the ability as a player to go to the marshal, did you see that bounce? Marshal would radio, TV tower, did that ball bounce? Yes, that ball bounced. Clearly the ball's not embedded, play it as it lies. I think, how long would that take? A minute, 2 minutes tops, because the media is right on it. Whoever's broadcasting, if they're filming, they see that ball bounce, they replay it about 40 times, as what happened with Reed. All the controversy this week, obviously. And that's really it. I mean, that's all I've got to say on the matter, but it just goes to show you that you can be one of the best players in the world. You can be struggling. Rory managed to win with a whole new set of clubs in his bag, and I'll be honest with you, and I said this to Simon Dyson, he had no clue in round 2 where the ball was going whatsoever off the tee, and he was very lucky. But that's what you need to know, a bit of luck. But it shows you he's still going through swing changes and he's still not comfortable at 100%, but he has got the ability to let the ball go, i.e. he's not holding anything back, he's hitting it. So he's basically hitting it, go finding it and hitting it again, which if you speak to anybody, top golfing wise or amateur or pro, if you just go hit it and go find it, hit it again, you're probably going to do well that week. So thanks for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this wee chit chat. I think chit chats are the way the channel's going to go. I don't think, there's space on YouTube for another vlogger or blogger or whatever these channels are. That, quite frankly, annoy the living daylights out of me. So I don't really want to capture myself in the same boat and then get accused of, well, you're doing it. But the channel is all for charity, raising money through ad revenue. As a subscriber, if we hit 1,000 subscribers, all the ad revenue will be going to Macmillan Cancer, Help the Heroes and Shelter UK, which is for the homeless. Thanks for listening, and if you get a chance, subscribe, share, and hit us up in the likes.